Everyone, welcome back to the Thuthuka SA channel. On today's episode, Pumelelo will be discussing how SARS will tax your pension fund. You really do want to watch this video because you do not want to pay too much tax on your pension fund, and she will teach you ways that you can minimize the amount of tax that you pay on your fund.
Now, receiver wants you to do this, to transfer your money from GEPF into an approved pension preservation fund. That is step one. Now, what happens when you do that? So your 3 million leaves GEPF as 3 million, no tax consequences. It hits the approved pension preservation fund as 3 million. So you have 3 million there, you have 3 million there. Then what do you do from there? You then withdraw the tax-free options. 500,000 tax-free, and if you were employed pre-1998, you withdraw that portion. So let's say for argument's sake, that is 800,000, or even if it's 1 million. So you take that 1 million out, tax-free, from the approved pension preservation fund. Now you have 1 million in your bank account, and you still have how much? 2 million preserved. So you take this 1 million, you then go and you pay off debts, you buy the dream car. So who was asking me how? So this is how you do it. But this is the beauty. You still have, remember the Pension Funds Act allows you to withdraw up to a third as a lump sum. So working on 3 million, a third is 1 million. So for those of you who have been working before 1998, my calculations are most of you have the million tax-free. So you can take your million as it is, and you are left with 2 million. So the 1 million, that's where you pay off debt, that's where you buy your dream car, that's where you go on a cruise or whatever. And then you are, and by the way, I'm a financial advisor. You're not going to spend that million, not if I'm your advisor. Because I want you to then invest part of that million. Maybe there's a graduation ceremony for your child. Maybe there's a wedding for your child. So even though it is tax-free, it doesn't mean you must spend it like that. So you can still invest it. And these days, there are tax-free investments where you can put that million, take and use what you need, but invest the rest so that you have lump sums available for future needs. But over and above that, you still have your 2 million, which is what you can structure now as a monthly pension for the rest of your life. So do you understand the main difference? You are much better off. You had your 1 million in your pocket, in your bank account, and you still have 2 million to live on for the rest of your life. So are we together? T period.
5 years there.
That's the difference, yes. So she's making a very valid point. She's saying this is very similar to what happens within GEPF, and I am agreeing with her. The only exception is here you have a guarantee period . Years. Yeah, 10 years. So if you die at 62, someone else is going to receive your money for how long?
3 years.
No, here, this is GEPF, remember? So let's say this is, I don't know, Glacier, whoever, Sunlam, whoever. So here, if you die at 62, someone will receive your pension for the next 8 years. So for me, this 3 years and 8 years, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. It can make a difference whether your children finish their varsity studies or not. There's an additional 5-year guarantee period.
And then what happens after 8 years?
You are, okay. As long as you live, you are going to receive your pension. But in the event that you die too soon, then someone else in your family, because the guarantee period is 10 years, that basically says we'll pay you for a minimum of 10 years. And if you are no longer alive, we'll pay your beneficiary for the remainder of the period. But as long as you breathe, you shall receive your money. So that's the main difference.
So after 10 years, everything is...
Yeah.
When you
In actual fact,
die.
I've done calculations because this is one of the key questions that customers ask you, what happens after 10 years? If you look at how much you receive per month, and that's my next slide. By the way, it's still a man's world. The teacher, those men at the back. But I'm sure you love your wives and your sisters. But this is still a man's world, by the way. I've got my calculations. Where's my notebook? I did my calculations, and do you know that I was very upset when I found this out. I need enough women. You must fight this. You must change this law. Do you know that for the exact same amount, men get more as a monthly pension than women? And they say, because when I discovered this, I said, what on earth is going on here? Then I was told, men pass on at least 7 years earlier than us. And I'm saying, which century? Because in this century, that is no longer applicable. Yes, generally speaking, men still do pass on before women, but we encounter the same stresses now as men. So that is no longer true. And what if I am not healthy? I've got a chronic illness. So for me, it's just a man's world still in 2019. So my calculations, I've put 17,000. It's plus minus. You know, this was so upsetting. This is how I discovered it. We're doing a quote for a customer. She is female. And this person in the office decides to put Mr. And then the pension amount monthly is so high. And then we send it to the customer. The customer says, thank you so much for the quote. I love it. But you made a mistake. I'm actually Mrs. I'm not Mr. And then we change it to Mrs. The pension amount drops. And you know, to explain to a customer, because you're a woman, these companies tell us that we live at least 7 years longer than men, so they give us less pension. It was an uphill. And you know, she actually thought we were defrauding her. It was so difficult from that point onwards. So what are the calculations? I've put 17, but that's an indicative figure. The actual amount on 2 million. So I took an example. Men 60 years of age has 2 million pension fund value. Because he's a man, he's going to get 17,393. A woman 60 years of age, same amount, 2 million. You know, I'm sad because I'm a woman as well. Maybe I should do a sex change. And then you will get paid how much? 16,130. That is how much? Over 1,000 rands. It's not fair. 1,002. Not fair. But they all do the same thing. So these laws were obviously designed by men. We love them, but they're not fair sometimes. So are we together?